back to the deep dive. We're looking at a stack of reports today that, honestly, it's one of those things that keeps you up at night.
It really is.
You look at the headlines, you look at the details on the ground, and you just feel like you're watching two different realities. We're focusing on one day, Saturday, January 24th, 2026.
And it is such a study in contrast. It's rare that you see a single 24-hour period that just captures the entire conflict so tragically.
It really is like a split screen.
Yeah.
On one side, you've got these high-level American envoys, suits, air-conditioned rooms, and they're talking about seaside resorts and data centers.
Yeah, sounds like a tech pitch.
Exactly, like something out of Silicon Valley.
Yeah.
But then you look at the other side of the screen, the reality in Gaza on that exact same day. And we are not talking about cloud computing. We're talking about a winter crisis.
We're talking about survival.
And this detail, this is what got me. 2 children killed while just trying to find some firewood.
And that's our mission today, really, to try and bridge that massive gap between the diplomatic vision for a new Gaza and the humanitarian nightmare of the Gaza that exists right now.
Because if you only look at one, you miss the whole story.
You absolutely do. You miss the human cost or you miss the political machinery driving it all.
So let's start there. On the ground, this incident that sort of anchors our whole deep dive, it happened in northern Gaza near the Kamal Adwan hospital. What do the reports say?
So it was a drone strike.
Yeah.
And the first thing you have to notice is the target profile. We're used to seeing reports about command centers or tunnels.
Right, military targets.
This one was very specific. The target was a group of civilians. They were gathering firewood.
Firewood. I can't get past that. In 2026, people are being targeted for picking up sticks.
And the strike killed 2 children from the same family. And I think before we even touch the politics, we have to ask why. Why are kids out there in a conflict zone under drone surveillance just to get wood?
Yeah, it's not like they were planning a bonfire.
No, it's about survival. And this is where the environmental data becomes so important. On that Saturday, temperatures were dropping to around 10 degrees Celsius at night.
Which is 50 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, I could hear someone listening in, London or Chicago thinking, 50 degrees, that's not a crisis.
Right, that's sweater weather.
Yeah, I walk my dog in 50 degrees. But it's all about the conditions, isn't it?
That's the critical piece. 50 degrees is fine if you're dry, if you have a real house, a blanket. But the medical reports on hypothermia are clear. It's not just temperature, it's insulation. The sources say people are in these makeshift tents. Thin canvas, plastic sheeting.
So basically no protection. It's like sleeping outside in a windbreaker.
Exactly. And then you add rain, you add wind. If you're wet and you're malnourished, your body loses heat so much faster. So 50 degrees suddenly becomes life-threatening, especially for a child.
So those kids, when they went for firewood, they weren't just doing a chore. They were on a mission to find the only heat source they had because there's no fuel.
Correct. No diesel for generators, no electricity. The fuel shortage is severe. They are literally hunting for energy in its most basic form.
And this isn't just an accident of war, is it?
Yeah.
The reports suggest this is more deliberate.
They do. They use the word manufactured. The sources state that Israel is blocking or limiting vital aid. And the list of what's being blocked it's telling. It's not just military gear, it's tents, mobile homes.
Wait. So the very things that would stop people from freezing?
The materials to patch those plastic sheets we just talked about?
That's what's being held up.
According to these reports, yes. And the source frames it as a violation of international law, the obligations of an occupying power. You create a situation where survival itself becomes a risky act, like scavenging for wood.
And it's having a real measurable cost. People are dying from the cold.
The numbers are they're horrifying. The Palestinian Health Ministry reported on that Saturday that just since the start of winter, 10 children have died, specifically because of the cold.
10 children frozen in 2026.
Or from complications from exposure, yes. And there's one case they mentioned by name, Ali Abu Zaur.
I saw that name.
He was 3 months old.
3 months. I mean, an infant can't regulate their own body temperature. They're completely dependent.
And his environment just failed him. He died from the cold at Al-Aqsa Martyrs Hospital, and that was announced on the same Saturday. So while baby Ali was freezing, there were very different talks happening just miles away.
It puts the whole firewood story in such a grim context. But there's another piece here that's confusing me. The reports keep saying there's a ceasefire.
Yes. The label versus the reality. That's the second big part of this deep dive.
Because if you hear ceasefire brokered by the U.S., you assume the fighting has stopped. The killing has stopped.
You would assume that, but the data tells a completely different story. So for context, this deal took effect on October 10th, 2025. So by January 2026, we are 3 months into a supposed peace.
Supposed is the key word.
It is. The source calls it a ceasefire in name only. Israel is accused of violating it hundreds of times. And these aren't small things. They're lethal strikes. Like the one that killed the kids getting firewood.
Hundreds of times.
Yeah.
In 3 months. How is that still called a ceasefire?
Well, it comes down to definitions of threats and provocations. But on the ground, that doesn't matter. The numbers are what matter. Since October 11th, the day after the deal began, Palestinian health officials report 481 people killed.
Wait, almost 500 people have been killed during a peace deal?
And over 1,200 wounded. So while the massive bombing campaigns might have stopped, the violence hasn't. It's just become more sporadic, maybe even more unpredictable.
And let's just zoom out for a second, for context.
Yeah.
Because we can get numb to a number like 481. What's the total count since this all began in October 2023?
The cumulative total from the ministry is 71,654 killed.
70